So welcome everyone. It is, what is the date? Oh yeah, March the 16th, 2026. Hmm. Okay, and we are into the law of intent with Sanat Kumara. This is Sanat Kumara here. He is from Venus, but he's our universal logos and he is keeper of universal law. So we're in the second chakra still, the pubic chakra, pages 130 to 132 in the Divine Mother's Guidebook, Home to the Heart. Okay, so so if you want to listen to the law of intent, just go into this yellow circle on voiceoffreedom.ca and click on the universal law of intent. It's right close to the top when you go into this circle here. Okay, and I've been sending out a weekly newsletter. It's interesting getting used to email platform, getting there. Okay, so let's welcome everyone. That's busy. It is busy in this room today. Lots of there's lots of energy. Okay, so welcome to everyone above and below here. And huge gratitude to the Divine Mother for this guidebook, the mighty archangels and all their wisdom, Sanat Kumara and the ascended masters, enlightened beings, the beloved saints, all the wisdoms that has been poured into this book. And the next one that's coming, our guides and guardians. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to Gaia for holding us. So much gratitude. And let's post the mighty ones. Let's create this healing chamber around us. You can do this around any room, building, situation, even your bed at night. And it does literally create a healing chamber of color. And color is the perfect balance. So let's put on our cloaks if you feel like it. Just put on that beautiful blue cloak with the hood for the clarity of the Divine Mother. And then post Archangel Michael along the wall with a door, and then he stands in this corner carrying his blue flame of truth, and then Archangel Raphael walks along and stands in the next corner carrying his emerald flame, and then Archangel Uriel along the next wall, all silver, and we carry that flame, and Uriel stands very close to us. And Archangel Yophael always stands behind us, actually, but he stands here in the corner. And let's sprinkle some of that beautiful Yofi dust all over the planet and within our healing chamber as well. And Archangel Gabriel stands in the middle with the golden spiral, the ascension spiral, on the understandings of our divine alignment, our will, our divine authority, our balance, our joy, with Sanat Kumara carrying the scales of balance. Okay, and just a little deeper on what the blue flame is. So it burns away all doubt and denial. So if you're caught and you want to ask for help, in an old trigger or, some difficult situation, our consciousness is knowing to ask for help and using the tools in the moment. And it's miraculous what happens. So just jump in and practice and just feel into your heart space of what's happening and how quickly things resolve themselves. Archangel Uriel is that silver flame of truth and clarity, lights our way on this journey of wholeness. So keep remembering we're whole and we're perfect. We are not these old fears. So, and that's what this flame helps us with, facing into the fears, and you actually hold it in your hand. And then it guides you into your heart to look deeper at everything. And Archangel Gabriel's golden trumpet, she will blow it into your heart, again, clearing away cobwebs of doubt. So doubt seems to be a big one when we doubt ourselves, when we doubt the journey, when we doubt who we are. That doubt can be very insidious. So blast it out of your system. It makes a huge difference when we call in the mighty ones to help with that. And just know, as Lao Tzu said, the kingdom of heaven is within us right now. And when you go into the heart space and you fly into your golden temple, you are in your own city of light. It's basically everything is within us. Your mission and purpose is on the walls in that golden temple, and so much more. So it's a really good practice to focus being more and more and more in your heart consciousness, in your heart center, operating from your heart center, and mm, all the old systems fall away when we're in that heart center. The mind just quiets right down. All anxiety disappears. I used to be highly anxious. So highly anxious, I would have butterflies in my stomach all the time, nervous about everything. And when I started having my readings with well, it was Archangel Michael at the beginning. On one birthday, he came, he had a reading for me. And he said, for your birthday, I am going to take away this ping pong effect that's happening in your mind. And I was like, my what? Oh, right. Because we get so used to it, we don't even realize it's happening sometimes. And it was a practice. He showed me how to eliminate it. He took it away, but I had to do a lot of work to, like, not a lot, but I had to be really conscious that he was helping me. So when you're super conscious that the mighty ones are right there and the ascended masters and your guides are right there helping you, it the elimination of all anxiety so that you're in a constant state of joy and kind of giggly and happy all the time, it's really, really conducive to the energies that are on the planet right now. So it can happen very quickly. It's just we have to be really focused and conscious for it to happen and keep asking for help. Okay, so I wanted to remind us in the meditation in the last session, we went down to visit Gaia. And she bent down and gave us one of her golden flames from the golden campfire that is beside her. And she placed it directly in our hearts. So, and then that goes on to enhance the golden flame in the tri-flame. So what is the gold? It's our self-worth, it's balance, it's your will, your divine will to be in divine alignment and know the path, basically. It is our joy, it's our divine authority. Gold is really powerful. Think of how powerful the sun is and just realize that's you inside in that golden flame. So, and Gaia has gifted us one of her golden flames, and you can go down and ask her for more. Do not hesitate. If you feel like going to visit her, that's one of the meditations that I'll do with groups often, is taking us to visit Gaia and seeing her bend down and gift us a flame. It enhances your self-worth, your power, your solar plexus, the golden energy. And in the meditation, we were asked for two things. What was our intention and mission, purpose, our plan, the agreement we wrote on the walls of our heart before returning to earth? So we all come with intention to be very loving before we even come here. It's an intention that is basically a standard, because in the higher realms, everything is love. And when we come here, we tend to forget, but we intend not to. We intend to be love before we even come. And the other intention, what is our intention for our life right now? So this is very personal. It is a smaller piece. What is our intention in terms of our ascension, the completion of our ascension in this moment of now? So that's really remembering who you truly are. And what is ascension? I love what Kuan Yin says. The ascension is each of you opening your hearts to the magnificence of your divinity and the acknowledgement of the divinity of all. So everyone's divinity. Remembering that even the beings that have played the roles that look like they're out of alignment, they played the role well, either to drive up energy or for our consciousness to emerge, our heart consciousness, like everything is in divine order. So our job is to really remember everyone's magnificence. And the mother says what it means to be one. One unified heart, unity grid, unity consciousness. And that consciousness is nothing more complex than the sharing of heart, the sharing of love, and it begins and ends with your beautiful sacred self. And in the law of sacred purpose with Sanat Kumara, he, right at the beginning, he said, knowing we are one family. Everyone is birthed of source energy. We're all related. We're all brothers and sisters. And we're here to remember that on Earth right now and set the template for a universe of love. And from that place, when the template is set, there's two other planets for the template to be set as well. So two more planets in alignment to learn what we're learning right now. We're setting the template. All right, so let's activate our tri-flame, and then we'll get into the understandings of the law of intent. So breathe any color. Color is perfect balance. It doesn't matter. And how we worked with the whole band of color in the meditation for the law of intent. If you're breathing blue, try and breathe it from lightest to darkest, or green, lightest to darkest. If it's gold, that really like sunlight yellow to the almost brown yellow, brown gold. So not yellow, but gold. It's a whole band of color. So breathe in the band of color that comes to you. Pause, let it swirl up, in your mind. And on the out breath, drop right down into your heart chakra, into that emerald green. And we are activating the healing in the blue flame of the tri-flame. So sense that tri-flame within your being. The healing, the knowing that everything is forgiven, the Divine Mother energy, Archangel Michael energy of peace, of trust, of faith, knowing that everything is forgiven in the higher realms. And then move to the golden sunlight, golden power of the Divine Father and Archangel Gabriel. Really feel into that golden energy of your joy, of being in gratitude for everything, from money to relationships to our purpose or mission and purpose, everything in between. That deep, deep gratitude for the journey here, for everything. And then move to the pink flame in the middle. This is how loved we are, our grace, how cherished we are, every single being, no matter what we've gotten up to. There is no judgment in the higher realms. This is the awakening to the truth. And sense into that silver at the base of the pink flame. That is your divine spark. And really feel into it, really expand that energy. Feel it expand throughout your entire being, even out farther. And then weave all these flames into one and connect to source. It's your divine alignment with source. And then weave all this energy into one and connect with Gaia. Your divine alignment with Gaia. And just feel into that. And if you can walk throughout your day knowing this alignment and know this power from your center, that's the place to be in. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so this is your self-love, your self-worth, and so much more. Electric consciousness that we're really activating. That balance from our root chakra, and we're in the pubic here, so the communication of the healing with intention. Okay, so we're in this chakra here. It's bright red. The root chakra was more of a deep red, and we're working on the universal law of intent. Intent is the beginning of creation. Okay, so here we are with Sanat Kumara, and he says, greetings, I am Sanat Kumara, and I welcome you. Welcome to each and every one of you. And yes, I am your dear friend, Raj. That's one of his names. He likes to be called SK or Raj, brother, teacher, and holder of the law of one and of all. There is no creation that is meaningful in the sense of the universe or yourself without intention. Whether you choose to engage consciously and actively with the law of intent, or whether you simply choose to ignore it, does not mean that it is not in operation. It is important, my dear hearts, that you fully understand this. When I am speaking of the various 13 universal laws that are particularly pertinent to the advancement of humanity and your experience within the 12 realms and the 12 dimensions at this time, you did not come to this planet of Gaia during a time of shift and ascension to be unconscious, quite the contrary. So prior to this time, you could say to me, well, Raj, I was not aware, but now that disappears, does it not? It is time for each of you in your divinity, in your wholeness, to actively engage with the law in every aspect of the law, and to do so in ways that are meaningful, not only to the collective, but to you. Because when you are operating in ways that are meaningful to you, when you are intending that which is a balance of love, of charity, of compassion for you, then of course it has the same reflection throughout all of your planet, all of humanity. So this is how important it is to really know who we are individually, because it is a reflection out to the planet. The law of intent is kind, it is generous, it is sharing, it is joyous, it is tender, it is considerate. It is never selfish or arrogant. It is never excluding others' well-being and development, for that would not be in alignment with the mother and with love. When I speak to you of intention, I wish to speak to you of intention on every single level. Your feelings, yes, your emotional body. How are you holding, projecting, anchoring intention within your emotional body, within your mental body? You cannot anchor what you intend to bring forth, what the intention of your life is, your service, your pleasure, your joy, if you're holding contradictory thoughts. So we often are, and they're running subconsciously, unconsciously. That's how important it is to really go into the old belief systems and drive them up so that they rise up to the surface, and your awareness of them sets you free. Because there's layers and layers and layers, and hence the transmutation of these old thoughts and feelings is super important, because they're creating underneath everything. So the law of intent means that your mental body, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotional body are coming into that alignment with divine thought, mind, will, heart. There has to be consistency and congruence. There has to be constancy. Super important. So that divine alignment, anchoring it into your physical form so you remember your angelic self, so that you are connecting to divine thought, mind, will, and heart. It's so important. And the consistency and the congruence within it all, it's super important. And the mother, she calls herself our mother of constancy. Like that's one of her attributes, being very constant and constant in love, basically. So that self-love, self-worth, really, really, really important. And the elimination of the thoughts that are unloving and the feelings, thoughts and feelings that are unloving, because they're creating underneath everything if we're not dealing with them. He says, yes, I am one as your planetary logos, as keeper of universal law. I will speak in absolutes because the law is. It does not have variation. You cannot say, well, I will accept a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It does not work this way. And that is what humanity is working. And that's what you are creating and altering in the reality of the human experience. The human condition, the experience, the creation work of humanity has been far too manipulated and convenient, and it has been intent by ego rather than intent by love. And you have learned and you have experienced and you've been brokenhearted because you see that that does not work. It does not even begin to work. It does not even begin to serve. Remember what he said about our egos? To love our egos. And then the ego calms down. So really, really, really focusing on love, love, love. So now I speak to you and I ask you the vision of your sacred purpose. So now this goes back to the law of sacred purpose and going into the temple behind the heart chakra and really coming to know our purpose. And purpose is always connected to what you're most excited about. If you're super, super excited about something, just know that that's really connected to who you are and what you came to do. It is in alignment with the totality of who you are. And then we want every thought, every action, every friendship, every collegial association, our behavior, our relationships, our actions, what do they reflect? What does our behavior reflect? So he's asking us these questions. How so that we really become conscious. Like it's everything. It has alignment and mission. It's alignment, real deep alignment, the center of your being, the centeredness, and really being conscious of what we're doing. Is it in, yes, Ken.
Um, I guess I don't think of it that way. I think of it in totality because if I feel a certain way, those kinds of things always drop in, if that makes sense.
So you're not working it from the mental, the law of intention, mental aspect, but for how you feel.
Right,
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Yeah, because that's the heart center.
right.
Remember, that's being in the heart center. And then, yes, and then the divine mind comes into play. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Is it in complete alignment with your intentions for what you wish to achieve, what you wish to experience, and what you have agreed to do? Yeah, so that's that's pretty straightforward. If it is not in that alignment, then dear heart, you are out of balance. And then he says, is this cause for alarm? And see how they always say now. And I've come to realize that now is the heart center, being in the moment, living in the now. And they're always reminding us now. So whenever I see this word, I'm always making it green and usually capitalized so that we think now. Come right into the heart center, into the now. And then there's no anxiety because you're not in the future, you're not in the past, you're in the moment of now because you've let go of the past and you're not worried about the future. Because when you're in the now, then you're in that beautiful, infinite, and eternal love of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. And it's just amazing. Okay, so he says, now, is this cause for alarm? And he says, no, it is cause for simple correction. Bring yourself back. And when we get to fortitude, this is what Jesus says. He keeps saying, come back to the heart, back and back, surrender deeper and deeper into the heart, loving the ego, basically. So it calms down. And then it's easy to access the heart. Of course, I will help you. That is my joy. That is my purpose. And yes, Gabriel is helping too. So where was Gabriel? The golden spiral in the middle of the posting of the mighty one. So in the middle, Gabriel's right in the middle. She's here. She's here right in the middle in the tri-flame, bringing us back with the action of our will, our divine authority, our divine alignment, balance, all the golden energy, your power. She's bringing you back to the place of centeredness. So we want to be right in the middle, right in your truth, understanding the attributes of the mother and the father, bringing them both into equality, not one above the other. You don't want the power of the father over the mother. We want the mother and the father energy to be equal inside. And that tracks back to how you felt about mom and dad when you were growing up, basically, and siblings. It tracks back to family. Who was around you in the formative years of your life? And if you can bring that to peace and just be loving everyone, it's not like you have to be communicating with them every day or anything, but you're at peace with everything, then that brings you into a real peaceful state inside, because we tend to hold on to traumas. And so we want to be letting that go and realizing everything was in divine order. We wanted to experience that, so we would let it go. That's the key. We wanted these experiences to know what they were like and to let them go. And then this is from Archangel Michael, because a lot of us will set global intentions. And yes, they're great for peace on earth and everything, but that's the without. If we're not at peace within, then it won't happen. And this is what it goes back to SK talking about every thought, every action, every friendship, every collegial association, how we behave, what are our relationships like, what do our actions reflect, what does your behavior reflect, because it's underlying stuff that is interfering. And that's why we don't have global peace, because as individuals, we're not quite there yet. We're not in that there's not enough of us in that peace inside. So what Archangel Michael says, global intentions, collective intentions are beautiful and sacred and holy. And when you come together in global intention, miracles happen. Yeah, Ken?
Well, when you started talking about the the mother and the father, what I realized is that in my own situation, I think part of what I missed was that I was trying to help heal my parents. And so, even though it was disconcerting, I still wanted them to be healed.
You were the light that dropped into that family. So that usually there's a being that drops in a little higher, more higher dimensional, to anchor the light and to encourage everyone to come into the love. But sometimes we don't have to worry about others. It's just mostly the self. And then when we're really that anchor, then they tend to come to the light. So, yeah, but we're not here to heal anybody. I don't know if that makes sense. I know I asked SK about that when we were up in the throat chakra, because I wanted to understand about healing. And he said, you don't heal anybody, but the healing energy comes through us. Yeah. Well, but it's free choice. It's free choice if someone wants to remember how loved they are. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so miracles happen. We have seen this, and you will certainly see more of it. But do not ever think, feel, or believe, my family and friends, that somehow global intentions are more valid, more important, more worthy than the personal whispers of your heart. That is why I start by talking about the peace within you and the anchoring of that truly knowing within you. So when you are setting intentions, we do recommend every morning, and we'll get more into this next session. There needs to be time, and if you think you do not have the time, you are deceiving yourself, you are fooling yourself, and you are robbing yourself. You take the time, whether it is an hour or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, to set your intention, not only for your family, the planet and the galaxy and the universe, but also for your sweet self, for your day, for what you are working on. So from that sense of peace comes the expression of hope. And hope is really understanding the balance in the tri-flame. And from the stillness comes hope. from the balance of what you intend, not only to draw in, but what you intend to experience. So I did find an app, and I can share it, where you can literally set your intentions on your phone. But I'll show it. I think it's in next session that he goes into the actual uh, intentions for behavior, for your day, for your week. It's really interesting, the various intentions. But I do have an app that you can use if you're interested in setting it on your phone. And then it's just you wake up in the morning and you just do it. And it takes a few minutes. And then you set yourself up for this for really joyful days. It's wonderful. Okay, so that's all that I have. No, let's just see. Yeah, we're early. So does anybody want to share anything about any intentions that you've discovered from the meditation last week? You know how they asked us to anchor into intentions, a big picture intention, and then go into your own intention. Does anyone want to share what they discovered? Where did I have that? Where did I have that? Oh, it was at the very beginning. This one. In terms of your ascension, then like whether it's good health or lessening anxiety or a new project. Did anybody come up with anything that the smaller piece intention for your life right now? Yes, Ken.
One of the things I ran across, I think it was yesterday, was a guy that was giving a TED talk, and he was talking about this in terms of businesses, and he
Mm-hmm.
was talking about the fact that there are three rings, and the businesses usually deal with the outcome rather than the the I'm not sure what I want to call it. It's not the cause, the intention, the
Mm-hmm.
intention.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that if you come from a loving intention, that it does major um, things to the business, and that people feel rewarded and it's safe, and that the business thrives.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned that a company that was down, um, was losing money, and he said that, well, in most cases they would just go straight to laying off people.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did instead was to give people furloughs. So they'd give them like a 4 or 5 week furlough so that nobody lost their jobs. They just lost a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, they have found that they had doubled what they expected in terms of revenue, and that it had um, made them a more solid and loving company.
Beautiful. That's so cool. That's exactly okay. So we came with the intention to be love here for the whole planet to remember that they are love. That's exactly what we're doing. So that's a small scale of love, love, love instead of going into fear. And that was a creative solution. That's fantastic. Yeah. And you can do that with your everyday life too. So the more loving you are for yourself, it and like what SK said, loving the ego, it changes everything. Yeah, instead of dropping into fear, drop into love. And that's why they always have us drop into the heart space because it's so loving in there. That's brilliant. Thank you, Ken. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Stefan, do you see that in the real estate?
Well, I mean, how I relate to that is, I guess working with my father, I learned
Yeah.
a great deal. And one of the things that he and my mother always taught me was to come from a place of compassion, to come from a place of contribution.
Yes.
Um, and the more you're able to come from that place, the more successful you're going to be. And people, they read your energy. You can't fake it, because the energy comes through if you're faking it. And so that's always where I've come from when I'm working with my clients, is having a genuine interest in understanding them and caring about their needs, coming from a place where you want to contribute to their success, and ultimately when you're able to live that, then it comes back to you.
Yes, and you
um,
are that. You are that before you even give it to them.
yeah, yeah. And one of my father's lessons, I suppose, back when I was a spoiled brat, sort of starting out working with him, and it was all about, what can I get from the business?
Yep.
How am I benefiting out of this situation? And so he quoted John F. Kennedy and put it in writing and said, "Ask not what you can get from the business, ask what you can give to the business," sort of,
Yeah.
as a bit of a reminder for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
find the more volunteer work I do, it comes back in droves. And we're here
Mm-hmm.
to lift everyone up. We're here to lift all beings up into a higher state of being. So when you go to the most disenfranchised, or you bend down on the street to somebody who's really struggling and you offer them a hand up, it comes back in droves. Like I know that the volunteer work, mm, the intention to be loving from the self, knowing it within and then offering it out, it puts you in a flow of energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
Well,
beautiful.
it's extremely rewarding, personally, when you're doing acts of service, and volunteering. Some of my happiest days were volunteering with mentally and physically handicapped children.
Yes.
There's a hospital in Toronto called Bloorview Children's Hospital, and so I used to volunteer there. And you just feel so good about yourself when
Yeah.
you're volunteering in that capacity.
Well, the gratitude that comes back to you, the higher
Well,
realm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the higher realms run on, is gratitude towards each other. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're working on between in relationships, that gratitude between each other, between the masculine and the feminine, the respect, the admiration, and then that extending out onto the planet everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts within, then it goes into partnerships, and it goes into family and community, and it's just like it's contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Albert Einstein said it's time for love to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Okay, thank you. And Laura or Darren, did you want to add anything? Nope, you're good. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just move right into, let's see what time it is. We can move into sending good intentions out to the planet. We could even do it for a little longer this time if you want to practice sitting in the stillness for say 15 minutes if you feel like it. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, there was Michael. So he was talking about remembering the peace within and anchoring that, really knowing that peace inside of us, and then setting intentions for because our intentions for mission, for health, for ascension, if it's coming from the peace within us, it transpires much quicker, is what I've noticed. So things come to fruition when we don't have any conflicting old systems running underneath it all. The problem is that sometimes they can be very insidious and they're running underneath and we don't even realize it.
It
Yeah.
sounds so. I've just finished this book. It talks about disowned selves, and the energy patterns that come up, and the predominant energies that take over, and how they counteract energies ourselves that we've abandoned. And I'm not really very good at explaining this.
But
What
yeah,
am I trying to?
right. Yeah, it runs underneath. It runs
Yeah,
underneath everything. And it
yeah.
can be
So
from past lives even.
yeah. I mean, you're talking about this con contra or countering thoughts or
Yes.
energies. And that made me think of this book that I just finished reading. That we try to protect ourselves, and yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going with this.
No, but
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's good because
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. The contradictory thoughts and feelings run underneath everything and they interfere so that
Mhm.
we don't manifest what we really want to manifest. That's what interferes with the manifestations, with our
Mhm.
creations, because it's running underneath. Yeah. So that's how important it is. If you even get a little feeling of this is uncomfortable, to follow it and keep asking questions about it. Because if you're feeling uncomfortable, it is an old system. And then just to keep following it, it always goes back to childhood. And if it's super confusing, then reach out and ask someone. Because what I've been doing lately is like, so if someone's in front of me, I can see if it's a past life that's interfering. Because sometimes we come in with these old issues and we don't even realize they're running. But what is interesting, what's happening in this lifetime is those lifetimes are actually integrating into our who we are. So, and that's why the letting go can feel very confusing because those lifetimes are actually integrating. And they integrate easier if we're at peace within with ourself in this lifetime. And it's difficult if we're still not at peace with this lifetime. So then the past life will make itself known, though this is an issue. This needs to be looked at. And so it's super important to keep asking if you're feeling uncomfortable, what is it? What is it connected to? And then do the letting go around it. But yeah, that's been a lot of a focus in my readings for the last couple of years. Is really helping people see that. And then just the awareness of it sets you free, basically. Yeah. So it's very exciting to be alive and be able to be this conscious of who we truly are. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just do our 10 minutes and of sending from the heart. So drop into your heart, sit in the heart. So you're not going anywhere. You are basically in alignment with your chakras, knowing your connection to Gaia, knowing your connection to Source, um, anchored in the understandings of the two lower chakras. So this is really knowing our value and our worth, our self-love, okay, from the root. And this is now we're starting to understand intention. So this is intention is really important, and that there are not underlying thoughts that are interfering with our intention to be love. And then this is okay. So there's the ascension spiral for the entire planet. Thank you. We're going to thank everyone for helping us with this. Sanat, Kumara, the higher realms, our guides, our star family. And then we want to sit right here in the middle of our being and just let the energy move around you. So just know that it's moving in and out through the chakras and going clockwise and counterclockwise, but it's also coming up from Gaia, it's coming down from source, and then we're sending it up and we're sending it down. So there's a lot of movement all around us, but the more still we are in the middle, in that beautiful balance of the flame, you really don't have to do much. It's really setting intentions. So you can just close your eyes and intend for world peace. You can intend for community peace. You can intend for family peace. You can really intend to be that peace inside yourself, and then do it back, and then do it out to the family, to the community, to the world, and then bring it in again. So it's from within us, and it's a movement that's all happening all around us without us even realizing it. So you don't really have to do much. Just breathe. Just breathe and be. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself, and I'll set my timer. Okay, so we'll breathe and drop into your heart and be. Okay, see you in 10 minutes. Okay. That's the end of 10 minutes. Okay. Beautiful. I'm gonna draw a picture of what I saw because it's then I think it'll make it easier to see. That was so cool. So when you're in the middle in your golden temple, and what I did was I brought my everyone that's close to me into there, and it actually turned into like a space, like a city, a city of light. And then the energy just radiated out from there, from the middle. Like we're right in the middle, and then everyone, family is in a circle, then people that you know in a circle, and then it goes into the city, and then it goes into the country, then it goes into the global. And then, but I wasn't moving. I was just breathing, and the energy, I could see the energy moving. It was expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting. It was really cool. I'll make a picture of it so you can see that. But that's us like anchored in divine alignment in the intention to be love right from the center. And then just watching the energy radiate out. Mm, yeah. Okay. Anyone want to share anything or no?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Um, well, as I did this, I went down to Gaia
Mhm.
and to the council, and I hugged Gaia, and then I went up. There apparently are, what do I want to say here? Three, I don't want to call them tribes, but I'm not coming up with the right word now. But there are three groups of alien, I'm not sure it's called them aliens, but they've been living in parts of the ocean.
Mhm.
And so I was sending them love. And then um, I was sending love to all the birds and creatures in the sky and the oceans, and also um, the animals on the land, and then
Mhm.
all the beings that are on the earth, and then of course our um, star beings, brothers and sisters.
Mhm. Beautiful. Right from the center, right? You were in the center of the planet.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's it. So that's centered. You're centered. Yeah, just it's that divine alignment. Wherever we are, whether it's the center of the planet or here on Earth or, source. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And were you just breathing and seeing? Is that what's happening?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because it's the breath that's so powerful. Because the breath is the perfect balance of the mother and the father. It's the moisture and the light. Yeah. So every breath, if we're conscious, and it's so powerful. Yeah. And
Wasn't
it's all
conscious.
love.
I wasn't conscious of the breath so much. What I was conscious of was where I was, whether it was inside Gaia or on land or something like that. I was conscious of that. But I mean,
Hmm.
the breathing went with it, of course.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that's amazing. Okay. Stefan, are you finding it easier to meditate now? Like to be in the heart center?
No, no, I'm not really.
Okay. Okay. So that is the biggest thing that happens with when I do readings. There is a
Yeah.
fear to drop into the heart space. So you're not alone. It
Mm,
just practice, and it does eventually happen with practice and really sensing into it. And just know you are that. You're naturally very, very, very loving. And
hmm
Yeah, amazing. So you are
Well,
operating from your heart center.
yeah, I get all that. I guess I have a hard time with the idea of dropping into my heart and into the chamber and into down to the center of the earth, to Gaia, and all of that sort of stuff, like on a superficial level. All of the concepts and all of the ideas speak to me, resonate with me, and and I'm learning
Mhm.
as I'm going through this
So it is
with everybody.
imagination. It's imagination work. When did you
Yeah.
you read books when you were a child?
No, no, I was not a creative type, not a reader. I was like a sporty and outdoor and very tactile, and so not a very creative or imaginative um, childhood.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
it is imagination. It's basically you're in your imagination when you're doing it, and it's just a feeling, the dropping.
Mm,
So
hmm
it's different for everybody. Mhm.
hmm
But
Yeah.
I have
So yeah,
noticed,
that's.
yeah. So I have noticed that is the hardest thing for people to do, is
Hmm
to drop in. So, and
hmm
oftentimes, I've worked with a woman for a couple of years, and she's just now getting it, being able to do that. But she's been, her latest, she comes up with these wonderful ideas. She went out and bought a pillow and is pretending it's her ego, and she's actually loving the pillow and loving her ego, so that she can drop, so she can relax enough to drop down into her heart, which I thought was quite interesting. And
hmm
it's working. Like it's taking a couple of years for her to relax enough to be able to come into the body and be able to consciously feel being in her heart. But yeah, it's just old belief systems, old patterns.
hmm
And it just takes practice, that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if ever you want another session, you're more than welcome to come over and I'll guide you right in, like with drum beats, because that was
Okay.
another thing that really helped her was drumming.
hmm
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or anything? No. Okay. So let's meet again next week. I'll be here. I'll be here on Monday at 6 o'clock. Yeah.
See you next week.
Sounds good.
Have a good
Have a
week,
good week.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.